Good evening, and welcome to the senior speech recital of Michaela Sanchez. This recital was prepared under the direction of Mrs. Amanda DePaul of the Department of Speech and is in partial fulfillment for her Bachelor of Arts degree in Performance Studies. Immediately following her recital, Ms. Sanchez will be out in the main lobby to greet her guests. That will be accessible through that small door in the back of the auditorium. Here at Pensacola Christian College, it is our privilege to begin all performances in prayer. Would you please stand with me as I pray? Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for Michaela. We thank you for the talent that you have blessed her with, for the hard work and the dedication that she has shown in the preparation of this performance. Please be with her now, calm her nerves, help her do her very best. And Lord, please be with this audience that they would enjoy this trip down the yellow brick road, and that everything that happens will be for your honor and your glory. We love you, Lord, and in your name we pray. Amen. You may be seated.
looking anxiously at the sky, which was grayer than usual. Dorothy stood in the doorway while Aunt Em washed the dishes. And then suddenly, they heard a low wail of wind from the north and a sharp whistling air from the south. "There's a cyclone coming, Em. I'll go look after the stock. You and Dorothy take shelter." Then Uncle Henry ran to the shed where the horses and cows were kept. Aunt Em dropped what she was doing, and one look at the sky told her of the danger that was close at hand. Oh, quick, Dorothy! Run for the cellar! Aunt Em, badly frightened, threw open the trap door in the floor and climbed into the small, dark hole. Toto had run under a bed to hide when Dorothy at last caught him and then started to follow her aunt. But when she was halfway across the room, a strange thing happened. The house whirled around several times, rising slowly up in the air like a balloon. In spite of the wailing wind and the swirling house, Dorothy found she was riding quite easily and closed her eyes, falling fast asleep. Then suddenly, she was awakened by a shock. Dorothy sat up and noticed that the house wasn't moving and that the bright sunshine came in at the window. The cyclone had set the house down, very gently for a cyclone, in the midst of a land of marvelous beauty. Banks of gorgeous flowers were on either side, and birds with rare and brilliant plumage sang and fluttered in the trees. Toto, I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore. As Dorothy stood, taking in the sights eagerly around her, she noticed coming towards her a group of the strangest, smallest grown-ups she'd ever seen. Led by a tall, beautiful woman, Dorothy grabbed her basket and went to greet them. "You are welcome, dear one, to the land of the Munchkins. And now you've killed the wicked witch of the West, they are set free and are grateful to you, my dear, for the favor." "Oh, no, you must be mistaken. and witches. Oh, and I know this is true, for I am one of them myself. Yes, what is it? Look, the feet of the dead witch has disappeared, cried one of the munchkins. She was so wicked, she must have dried up quickly in the sun. Oh, but the shoes are yours, my dear, and don't ever take them off, for the wicked witch of the West desires them greatly. Oh. Well, you've all been very kind, and I really am grateful, but I must be getting back home now. Oh no! With my house destroyed, how can I get back home? Could you send me back home? I do not have the power to send you home, dear. But perhaps the great wizard Oz could help. A wizard could help me? Well, how do I get there? The road to the Emerald City is paved with yellow brick. So you can't miss it. And when you get to Oz, do not be afraid to tell him your story. Goodbye, my dear. Oh, goodness gracious, she just disappeared in a wink. How exciting! Come along, Toto. We'll go to the Emerald City and see the great Wizard Oz. Dorothy took off her old leather shoes and put on her new magic slippers, which fit her perfectly. Then she bade her munchkin friends goodbye, started along the road, picked up her basket, and started along the road of yellow brick. Well, after she had gone on several miles, she thought she would stop to rest at the top of a high fence. And beyond this fence was a great cornfield. And in the middle of that field was a scarecrow, perched high on a pole to keep the crows away from the ripe corn. Good day. Good day. Goodness gracious, did you just speak? Well, certainly. How do you do? Well, I'm very fine, thank you. How do you do? Well, it's very tedious being perched up here all day to scare away the crows that just laugh at you. Well, can't you get down? No, I can't. For you see, I've got this pole stuck up my back. But maybe if you went around the back and loosened and nailed it in the Hey. Oh, my name is Dorothy. I'm on my way to the Emerald City to see the great Wizard Oz. What's the Emerald City? And who's Oz? Why, don't you know? No, you see, I don't know anything. I'm stuffed, which means I've got no brains at all. Do you think that this wizard could give me some brains? Well, I don't see why not. You'd be no worse off than you are now. Well then, what are we waiting for? Let's get going. Dorothy helped the scarecrow over the fence, and they started along the road of yellow brick. Why should you wish to leave this beautiful place and go back to the gray place that you call Kansas? That's because you have no brains, silly. No matter how dreary and gray our homes are, there's just no place like home. Oh, isn't that right, Toto? Woof! There were no fences at all by the roadside now as they came to a great forest. As they walked on a few steps, Dorothy noticed something shining in a ray of sunlight that fell between the trees. And standing beside one of those partly chopped trees was a man made entirely of tin and perfectly motionless. Oh, Toto, will you stop trying to bite him? Did you just groan? this forest. We're on our way to the Emerald City to see a great Wizard Oz. A wizard? Oh, perhaps a wizard could give me a heart. What do you need a heart for? Don't you got one? No. When the tinsmith put me together again, he forgot to give me one. Do you hear that? I'm empty, hollow. Do you think this wizard could give me a heart? Well, it would be as easy as sending me and Toto back to Kansas. Oh, then if you don't mind, I'd really like to go with you. And we'd love to have you along. Oh, and I'll carry your oil can in my basket, for you never know what we'll encounter along the way. It was a bit of good luck to have their new friend on their journey, for shortly after they had begun, the forest overhead grew so thick that they couldn't pass. But while the Tin Man set to work with his axe, he told them how he had become a Tin Man and how he had rusted in the forest. Oh, that's simply awful, but I really am glad that we finally found you. How long will it be, Tin Man, before we're out of the forest? Oh, not long at all, I'm sure, Dorothy. Just then a terrible roar came from the forest, and a great lion bounded into view. Little Toto, now that he had an enemy to face, ran barking straight towards the lion. And the big beast opened his mouth to bite the dog. Dorothy, fearing Toto would be killed, rushed forward and slapped the lion on the nose as hard as she could. Don't you dare bite Toto! You ought to be ashamed of yourself. A big beast like you to bite a poor little dog. I didn't bite him. No, but you tried to. You're nothing but a big coward. Oh, but that's not right. Yeah, the king of the beasts shouldn't be a coward. I know it. I've always known it. But how can I help it? Every time there's danger, my heart begins to beat very fast, and I panic. Perhaps you have a heart disease. Oh, be glad, for then it means you have a heart. Oh, have you got any brains? I suppose so. I never looked to see. Well, we're on our way to the Emerald City to see the great Wizard Oz. Oh, do you think this wizard could give me a bit of courage? It would be as easy as giving the Scarecrow brains. Me, a heart. Oh, then if you don't mind, I'd really like to join you. And we'd love to have you along. So, once again, the little company set off on their journey, skipping along arm in arm, and Toto walking with stately strides by Dorothy's side. carpeted with them. Oh, aren't these just lovely? I suppose so. I can't smell them. I can't even smell the lion. If I had a heart, I know I should love these. Oh, I always did like flowers. But there are none in the forest as bright as these. As they advanced, they began to notice fewer and fewer of the other flowers and more of the big scarlet poppies, and soon found themselves in a meadow full of big scarlet poppies. Now it is well known that when many of these flowers are together, their odor becomes so powerful that anyone who smells them can fall asleep forever. But Dorothy didn't know this. Oh, friends, just go on without me. I think I'll just rest in this beautiful spot for a while. Oh, don't stop now! Dorothy? Oh, no. What are we gonna do? The scent of the flowers is killing all of us. I can scarcely keep my eyes open. And the little dog is asleep already. None of that, Lion. I've got an idea. Oh, but we must get her away from here. We must stay strong. The Tin Man and the Scarecrow, not being made of flesh, were unaffected by the scent of the flowers. Together, they put the sleeping girl on the lion's back, carried her away from the field, and waited for the fresh breeze to waken her. Are we back in Kansas yet? Oh no! What happened? Oh, well, we had to take you away from the field, or else you would have slept forever. But now I fear we've lost our path. Then what's that glowing thing in the distance? That must be the Emerald City! As they advanced, the green glow became brighter and brighter, and soon they thought they were nearing the end of their journey. As they reached the gate, all studded with emeralds, Dorothy noticed a small bell and pressed the button, hearing a silvery tinkle sound within. Then the big gate swung slowly open, and they found themselves in a high-arched room. And just before them was a little man about the same size as a munchkin. Excuse me, but we'd like to see the Great Wizard Oz, please. Really? And what makes you think that he'll see you? Then why not? It's important. I'm the guardian of the gate of the Emerald City, and I've never been permitted to see the Great Wizard Oz, nor do I know of any living person who has seen him. Oh, but we must try to see him, or else we've made our journey for nothing. Oh, come on. It's important. And Dorothy wears the witch's tooth and Glinda's kiss on her forehead. Well, since you demand to see the Great Wizard Oz, I will take you to his palace. But first, I must ask you to put on these spectacles. For if you do not, the brightness and the... For if you do not, the bright... For if you do not, the brightness and the glory of the Emerald City would blind you. Blah, blah, blah. Welcome to the Emerald City. Oh, friends, isn't this wonderful? And everything is so green. The Guardian led them through the streets of the Emerald City, right to the palace of the Great Wizard Oz. Wait here, and I will speak with him. started to become anxious.
I've spoken to the great wizard Oz, and he said he will see you. Follow me.
The guardian led them into a throne room, the walls of which glistened with more emeralds. And in the middle of that room was a throne made of green marble. And in the center of that throne was a head without any body or limbs. As Dorothy stared at this in fear and wonder, she noticed the head turn slowly and sharply towards her. And then she heard a voice from somewhere say, "I am Oz, the great and powerful. Who are you and why do you seek me?"
My name is Dorothy, the small and the meek. And these are my friends, the Scarecrow, the Tin Man, and the Lion.
"Where did you get those slippers?"
I got them from the Wicked Witch of the West, East, when my house fell on her and killed her.
"Why do you seek me?" "If it doesn't trouble your highness, I wish that you could give me some brains,
And I wish that you could give me a heart.
and I wish that you could give me a bit of courage.
And I wish that you could send me home to Annie.
You have no right to expect me to grant these wishes unless help me and I will help you.
Well, what would you like us to do?
Kill the Wicked Witch of the West.
But we can't do that.
You kill the Witch of the East and you wear her slippers. There is only one witch left in all the land of Oz. And when you can tell me she's dead, I will send you back to Kansas, but not before.
If you're so great and powerful and can't kill her yourself, how do you expect us to?
I do not know. But that is my answer. Now go, and do not ask to see me again until you have completed your task.
What are we going to do now?
There's only one thing we can do. And that is go to the land of the Winkies. Seek out the Wicked Witch. And destroy her. Together, the four friends walked out of the throne room with determined faces. As they neared the gate, Dorothy stopped to ask the guardian for directions.
Excuse me, but which road leads to the Wicked Witch of the West? Oh, you're serious? There's no road. No one ever wishes to go that way.
How then are we to find her?
Oh, that'll be easy. For when she knows you're in the land of the Winkies,
She'll find you. Well, thanks a lot. Together, the four friends marched on to the land of the Winkies where the Wicked Witch dwelt.
oh, the Winkies are the unfortunate people the witch enslaved many years ago.
As they advanced, the ground became rougher and hillier. The witch saw the friends approach from her castle and was furious.
How dare that little wretch trespass into my kingdom? And how dare she wear my sister's shoes? She brought friends. How disgusting. Oh, they'll certainly pay for this.
The witch saw there was only one way to destroy Dorothy and her friends. So she summoned winged monkeys.
Go to the strangers within my land and destroy them all! Except the lion. Bring that beast to me, for I have a mind to make him work. And don't forget those magic slippers.
The monkeys flew away to where the four friends were walking. Some of them seized the Tin Man and then dropped him over a ravine of sharp rocks. Other monkeys grabbed the Scarecrow and then tore all of the stuffing out of him. The remaining monkeys tightly bound the lion. Then they picked the lion, Dorothy, and Toto up and flew away with them to the witch's castle. But Dorothy they did not harm because of Glinda's kiss on her forehead. And soon, they were all standing before the Wicked Witch of the West.
I ask you monkeys to do a simple thing, and you bring me a girl in the slippers? Ah! Well. Thought you would come and protect your cowardly friend, the little girl. My, what pretty shoes you have. Care to show them off?
Oh, what do you mean? The good witch of the north said not to take them off.
Oh, did she? We'll see about that. Take him away. And you, little girl, will be my servant. Make sure that you mind everything I tell you. For if you don't, I'll make an end of you and your creature. As those I did your pesky little friends.
And so Dorothy worked meekly and diligently in every task the witch gave her to do, from all the Winky Guard's laundry to clearing away every single castle cobweb. The witch threatened but did not dare to strike Dorothy because of Glinda's kiss on the girl. But Dorothy didn't know this and was fearful for herself, the lion, and Toto.
I must get my sister's shoes back, but that stupid girl don't take them off. Every trick I conjure doesn't work. Oh, I can't take them off or else the magic won't work. I must get them. I finished polishing all of your broomsticks and you lazy little girl! You interrupted my evil planning! Now, take that bucket of water over there and scrub the floors of my throne room. Not so close to me. You act like the Scarecrow when he sees a match.
Are you afraid of water?
What a ridiculous notion! Now, unless you want me to turn your little dog into a fly, I suggest you get back to work! Over there!
The witch continued her pacing, but truly was too much afraid of water to go anywhere near Dorothy. Indeed, the old witch never touched water, nor let water touch her in any way.
No. I got it! I'll just enchant one of my flying brooms to chase her around the room until she trips. Then whoopsies!
were all greatly surprised when they saw no one at all in the room. So they kept close to the door and closer to one another.
We've come to claim your promise, O Oz.
What promise?
You promised to send me back home when the Wicked Witch was dead.
Is she really dead? Yes! Dorothy melted her with a bucket of water. Dear me, how sudden. Well, come to me tomorrow, for I must have time to think this over.
You've had plenty of time to think already.
We won't wait a day longer.
You must keep your promises to us.
Now the lion thought it might be as well to frighten the wizard. So he gave a large, loud roar that was so terrible, Toto jumped away from him in surprise and knocked over a screen that stood in the corner. As it fell with a crash, they all looked that way, and the next moment were filled with wonder. For a little old man was standing where just the screen had hidden, and seemed to be as much surprised as they were. Who are you? Here! I'm ours! Great, and powerful. But don't strike me. I'll do anything you want me to do.
Are you not a great wizard?
Hush, my dear. Don't speak so loudly, or you'll be hurt. No. No, I'm afraid I'm just a common man. You're more than that. You're a humbug. I am. I certainly am. Oh, but it was all I could do. You see, I was a balloonist in Omaha.
Oh, that's not very far from Kansas.
Quite right. But it's farther from here. Well, one day I went up in my balloon and the ropes got all twisted and I couldn't come back down again. So I went on for miles and miles and miles until I found myself here in the midst of a strange people who, on seeing me fall from the clouds, thought that I was a great wizard. And you let them believe that, didn't you?
I think you're a very bad man.
Oh, no, my dear, no. I'm really a very good man. I'm just a very bad wizard, I must admit. You made promises that you can't keep. What about the lion's brains or my brains? Well, like I said, I'm not a very good wizard. But perhaps I could help you with that. Oh, please, sit down. You don't mind if I take your head off, do you, Mr. Scarecrow? Well, certainly not. As long as it's the better one when you put it back on again. So the wizard unfastened the Scarecrow's head and went into the back to gather up a measure of bran, which he mixed with a great many pins and needles. These pins and needles ought to make you very sharp, friend. Hereafter you shall be a very wise man, for I have given you a lot of brand new brains.
How do you feel?
I feel very wise indeed. I'll get used to my brains when I know everything.
cut a hole in your chest. That won't hurt you. Oh, good.
So the wizard grabbed a pair of tinsmith shears and cut a hole in the left side of the Tin Man's chest. Oh, then he went to a set of drawers and took out a silken heart stuffed with sawdust. Oh, it is a beauty. Oh, but is it a kind heart?
Oh, very, very. There. Now you have a heart any man might be proud of.
Oh, thank you. I'll never forget your kindness as long as I live.
And do you happen to have anything in there that could give me a bit of courage?
Why, as for that, you have plenty of courage, I'm sure. There is no living thing that isn't afraid when it faces danger. True courage isn't facing those fears even when you are afraid. And that kind of courage you have in plenty.
All the same, I'd really like a sort of a reminder of my courage.
Well, very well. Kneel. By the power vested in me, I, Oz the Great and Powerful, name thee Sir Mighty Lion, the Courageous. Now rise. How do you feel?
I feel full of courage.
And do you happen to have anything in there that could send me back home to Kansas?
I'm afraid I do not, my dear.
Oh, Dorothy, don't cry. You know I'll always be by your side. I know. I just really miss Aunt Em and Uncle Henry.
Why, my dear, why didn't I think of this before? I know how to send you back to Kansas. We must get a balloon ready at once.
We? Does that mean you're going with me?
Yes, it's time I go back home. I'm tired of being such a humbug.
After much sewing, patching, and gluing, the balloon was finally ready and carried out in front of the palace. Oz got into the basket and announced to all his people,
I am going away to make a visit. And while I am gone, the scarecrow will rule over you. Obey him as you would me. Come back, Dorothy.
"Oh, but I can't! I can't find Toto anywhere, and I'm not leaving without him!" Toto had run into a crowd to bark at a kitten. And Dorothy at last caught him and then started to reach for Oz. Oz held out his arms to catch the girl when suddenly the ropes went crack and the balloon drifted away without her. "Oh, please, come back! I want to go home.
Oh, I can't, my dear. Goodbye.
Now I'm never going to see Auntie Em or Uncle Henry again." In that very instant, Glinda appeared before their very eyes.
But my dear child, there's no need to cry.
Glinda, could you send me back home to Kansas?
I do not have the power to send you home. You've had the power to go back home all along, my dear. The shoes you wear can carry you to any place you wish. All
just before her was the new farmhouse Uncle Henry had built. Aunt Em had just come out of the cottage to water her cabbages when she looked up and saw the girl running towards her.
Oh, my darling child, where